Yes, family. What's going on, guys? Yeah. 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 Yes, family. What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's morning session with Abel. Right, we are live right now, guys, for New York session. Like I said, I did have to go out and obviously drop off my kids to school. I had to be a father for a little bit, or else I would have went on earlier, guys. But we are here right now. We are live, and I really want just to come on here and really get together and discuss what has happened, guys, over the past few hours or so. Because we actually did experience, guys, a big shakeup in these markets. Thanks to the Bank of Japan. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. Really just figure out if sentiment has changed, if it's shifted and things like that, guys, just so that we all are, aware, or at least all of us are on the same page, with what our ideas and our thoughts can absolutely be, guys, right? So we're definitely going to go ahead and break that down. This stream is probably not going to be too long. Really isn't, because, again, I am on father duty, right? So I have my youngin in the background. She's going to be running around like usual, right? So I definitely got to make sure that every 10 or 15 minutes or so, I go ahead and run through the house and try to make sure she ain't tearing nothing up, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. But overall, like I said, we're going to have a very interesting session, because we do have, a lot to actually talk about today. That's just the reality, right? Like, we really have a lot to talk about, because these markets, guys, are always changing, right? These markets are, always, giving us reasons to have to reanalyze. So that's why it's so important, guys, for us to do that, so that we do actually go ahead and stay on top of things, right? Now, let's go ahead and just turn off this. Let me turn off this music really, really quickly. Right, let's actually go ahead and get right into this, guys, because like I said, it's not going to be a long session whatsoever. Maybe just around 30 minutes or so, just to give you guys some quick updates. And then we can go ahead and finish out the rest of our day. Right, but let's see what we got in the building with us tonight. Big shout out to every single one of y'all. I appreciate you guys all for rocking with me this morning. This was a little bit more of a random stream. I know I told you guys I was going to do it anyways on Thursday at the beginning of the week, which is why I wanted to stick with it. But I appreciate you guys all just jumping on, right, and looking to continue to take your trading to next levels, right? So let's salute Abel. You're a great help. I appreciate that, right? Let's see. We got Salson in the building. Trucker, what's going on? Good to see you, right? King Lions, my guy. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Watching the reaction on indices for continuations, right? We're definitely going to go ahead and take a look at these markets, guys, and see what has been happening, because like I said, we actually did see, guys, a very interesting move in terms from the yen that really did actually shake these markets, right? So we're going to go ahead and get into that as well, guys, and take a look at the indices. We're going to take a look at the dollar. We're going to take a look at gold. We're definitely going to take a look at a lot of these yen pairs to see what is going on. And we're going to go ahead and go from there, right? So just to pretty much start off today's session, guys, so we did actually have a very interesting move by the Bank of Japan overnight, which really gave the Japanese yen, guys, a lot of strength. Right, if you actually look at, USD JPY or any yen pair, you'll notice, guys, we had a massive sell-off last night. Like, this is actually a very, very big move, guys, right? This is what, 400, 500 pip drop. Imagine catching 500 pips in a matter of 45 minutes, right? So we are talking about a very, very, very big move here, right, for the yen, okay? Now, why did this actually happen, guys? Well, I actually did, do a little research. Right, I was trying to figure out myself as to what the hell is happening. Right, and one thing that I noticed, guys, is that, the Bank of Japan, they actually decided to intervene, in the FX markets. Right, they actually decided to pretty much manipulate, their currency to cause it to gain some type of strength. Because right now, guys, the Bank of Japan is, looking forward to try to now, combat this weakness that the Japanese yen has been experiencing for a while now. Obviously, they did not raise rates yesterday, which is something that we were expecting. But, them not raising rates and them intervening the way that they are right now, right, is definitely telling us, a lot. In my opinion, I look at that as they have no idea what the hell's going on. Right, like it really doesn't, right? So, again, for me, guys, it's very interesting times. But let's actually go ahead and just read this article really quickly so you guys are aware of, pretty much what's happening, right? I'm only going to really talk about, the Bank of Japan and what is happening over there, guys, right? Because we did have, again, a very interesting moves overall. All right, so let's go ahead and look over this, right? So the Bank of Japan props up the yen for the first time since 1998. All right, so the Federal Reserve's latest interest rate hike triggered the first direct intervention in foreign exchange markets by the Bank of Japan since 1998, briefly dragging the yen off of a 24-year low against an unstoppable dollar, right? And the dollar is still unstoppable, okay? And that's when we're going to get into that. Right, but the Bank of Japan intervened to prop up the currency despite leaving its own policy settings unchanged at its meeting overnight. Governor Kuroda repeated that he expected inflation to come down of its own accord next year due to the underlying weakness in Japan's domestic demand. Okay. The dollar has surged above 145 yen prior to the intervention after the Fed widened the interest rate differential between the two central banks' policy rates with another 75 basis point hike on Wednesday. All right, so simply put, guys, the reason why we experienced that massive strength in the yen is because, the Bank of Japan finally started to, get a set of balls, right? And I say that lightly, right? Because, again, we really have to understand, guys, the difference in the state of the economies that we have here, right? The reason why the Japanese yen has not been as aggressive as every other central bank, right, is simply put because, their economy over there is, treating what's happening, right, and is reacting to what's happening a lot differently, right? If you actually read what it said here, right, it said that Governor Kuroda expects inflation to come down on its own accord, right? So that means the Bank of Japan is expecting inflation to come down by itself, right? Without them, going ahead and, tightening up like everybody else is, right? So instead of them wanting to raise interest rates to try to force it down, they're just going to allow it to happen by itself. That's pretty much been their stance, guys, for a while now, which is why they have been getting absolutely destroyed, right? But a reason why they're able to do that is because, again, right, there is a lot of weakness in Japan's domestic demand, okay? So, what can we expect moving forward now, right? Because we did have just some major news, right? This is a big deal right here, right? And honestly, I'm a little torn as to what I think can actually happen, right? Because obviously, I'm still very much bullish the dollar. I still believe the dollar itself is going to be absolutely still dominant. But that also brings into the case now, okay, so what can we consider for the Japanese yen, right? Is this going to gain strength long term? Like, even if we're not trading it against the dollar, what about, Japanese yen against the pound yen, right? What about the Japanese yen against, euro yen, right? Aussie yen, right? Because overall, guys, against the dollar itself, I don't think it's gonna really continue to go bearish, right? I think overall, we're still gonna have a lot more demand, for the dollar itself, guys, still against the Japanese yen because of, the differences in policies, right? Again, we're really talking about like the Federal Reserve in the U.S. is all the way over here in right field, and the Bank of Japan is all the way here in left field, right? Like they literally have completely different stances, completely different policies right now that they're implementing, right? Which is again, it's a very big spread as to what the U.S. is doing and what the Bank of Japan is doing. So overall, I still believe that the dollar is going to be absolutely still more attractive, right? Absolutely still going to be a lot more attractive. I would still like to see a lot more upside for dollar yen overall, guys. Just because I still think the dollar is still going to be, way too dominant. Even for this little bit of, intervention that the Bank of Japan did, I still think it's not going to really do nothing too crazy, right? Or at least to, cause this thing to continue. So what I'm looking for the USD JPY, guys, right, is now that we actually did come down and just look at where we actually stopped at, right? Area of demand. Right, last time we seen massive move up in price, it started down here at this demand zone, right? So it's interesting where price actually sold off, but all it did was come back into this demand zone, and we actually repeatedly now rejected off of that, right? So that in itself is a clue. So maybe if we do see a pushback down to the demand zone, off of that demand zone, guys, could be an opportunity to go ahead and see higher pricing. But another thing I'm gonna be keeping my eye on as well, and this is a little bit more of a conservative play. Right, big shout out to our newest sponsor. What's going on? Shout out to you. Let's go. Alochu. Right, welcome to the family. Please make sure to go ahead and send me a message after this session so I can go ahead and get you added into the private community, right? Because anybody that's a part of my inner circle here on YouTube, you simply got to just click on the join button and join. You get added into a private community where we do, have conversation about this stuff, obviously off stream, okay? But big shout out to you, right? Welcome to the family. But what I'm looking for, guys, and again, this is more of a conservative approach, and this is probably what I'm going to be waiting for more than anything, just because, again, we did actually see a lot of selling pressure, and it is a little bit risky to go against that. So what I'm going to be looking for, right, is I want to see evidence, right? I want to see evidence that we are starting to finally rebound, and then it will take advantage of that. So if we're able to go ahead and see price break above this level of structure right here, guys, right, clearly this previous level of structure, support, and resistance, if we're able to have enough momentum to get back above that level, then I think that there is a good chance for us to actually go ahead and ride, this move at least back up to these highs, right? At least back up to these highs, right? So that's what I'm looking for USD JPY. I want to see this thing rebound, right? And again, I could be wrong, right? And if it happens, it is what it is, right? But, I definitely do expect this thing to potentially rebound, guys, and bring us right back up to these highs. Again, really understand, guys, the landscape right now, right? And because I know from a technical perspective, you might be like, yo, Abel, why would you do this? Why would you do that? But look at that momentum. You guys have to understand, again, I am not solely just a technical trader, right? I am more of a fundamental, a sentimental type of trader, right? With all of my decisions, all of my biases, my main ideology is going to come from a fundamental or a sentimental perspective. So from a fundamental and a sentimental perspective, I'm still very much bullish this. I'm still very much bullish, right? My bias has not changed, right? We have been bullish this entire year, guys, because the sentiment has not changed, right? We've been risk-off sentiment literally this entire year. So, yeah, we did see a little intervention here for the U.S. or for the Japanese yen, but that's going to be short-lived in my opinion, right? That is going to be short-lived. So, again, I'm looking for now this break back above this 141.8. If we're able to break back above it, close it, then, yeah, we can use that same exact area to look for, more opportunities to go ahead and go long. Right now, again, this is against the U.S. dollar. Right now, let's go take a look at, again, the other ones, right, and see if there's anything we could take advantage of. Right now, GJ is very disappointing for me because I actually did end up taking some opportunities last night looking for the buy. So, obviously, I ended up waking up, to a stop loss getting destroyed, absolutely destroyed, obviously because of what happened with the Bank of Japan. So it is what it is. It's one of those situations, guys, where, something like that, where we're seeing, intervention from, a central bank, propping up their currency. That is not something that we're going to be aware of, right? That is something that is done at random, right? Like only people that are literally inside of the inner circles over there, guys, for the Bank of Japan are actually going to know this stuff, right? Are actually going to be aware of, these type of events, right? Because nobody knows when they're going to freaking do stuff like that. So, yeah, I got completely destroyed last night as well, guys. So, if anybody that did take some buys against the yen last night, listen, man, I'm with you, right? We absolutely got destroyed, but we got destroyed, guys, because it was something that was literally completely out of our control, that was completely random, that was completely unexpected, and it happens, and that's why we practice, risk management, right? That's why it's so important, guys, to practice risk management. I told you guys last night as well, right? We can have the absolute best setup in the world and still take an L on it. I mean, we had a very good-looking setup here with GJ, but we got destroyed because it was something out of our control, right? It was something that, again, we did not know. We had an idea, and again, I know for those of you guys that were on the call last night, we did talk about the potential for them to have to eventually become aggressive because they cannot allow their currency to continue to devalue. But I was not expecting last night to do that, right? I was not expecting, for them to finally change course last night, right? So, but now that they did, guys, it is showing that they are showing some type of aggressiveness, and obviously they are going to start to work on that, and I'm talking about the Bank of Japan, right? So we have to keep that in mind. But overall, guys, you guys know how we do it. We compare currency strength based off policies, based off interest rates, based off bond yields, right? That's how we determine currency strength. And I bring that up because this is important, right? Most rookie traders, most newbies, right, and even some of the mentors on this platform right here, right, the way that they're determining currency strength, what they're going to do is they're going to look at the Bank of Japan, they're going to look at the Japanese yen and be like, man, the Japanese yen is absolutely strong. Then they're going to come to one of these BS of a charts or these BS meetings right here, right? Then they're going to come to these BS meters and be like, man, yeah, look at the Japanese yen is super strong. Look at this, man, let's just continue to sell the Japanese yen. right? Well, that's a little dangerous game you're trying to play here, guys, right? Because these tools, these indicators right here, they are, in my opinion, they're bullcrap, right? They don't serve no purpose but to tell us what the current strength is. So unless you're trading something like options or you're scalping, very quick scalps, this is not going to help us predict future price action. This is not going to help us predict what the yen is going to do, tomorrow, right? Next week. This ain't telling us nothing. But yet this is what everybody's going to push to you guys, right, in terms of currency strength. But the real traders, what we're going to push to you guys to understand currency strength is, again, comparing interest rates, comparing bond yields, right, comparing policies, right? Which bank is hawkish, which bank is dovish, right? Which bank is planning on, tightening compared to which bank is planning on easing, right? That's the real information. That's the real data that's going to give you an insight as to what currency could be stronger against another, right? So let's actually do that now with pound yen, right? And let's actually compare certain things so that we can figure out which one could eventually actually end up gaining strength, okay? Now, before we get into that, let me go ahead and just catch up with the chat. Let's go, Mike. Mike, you are a savage. Mike Salazar, I appreciate you. Welcome to the Wealthy Fam. Make sure to go ahead and send me a message after this stream so I can get you added into the private community where we go in depth on all this information. Because obviously, after stream, guys, once I'm off the stream, I'm going in the chats and we're still breaking this stuff down, right? So if you guys want to be access to that, then go ahead and just add yourself into the community. Let's go, Mike. I appreciate you, man. I promise you, and I promise every single one of y'all that's in the inner circle, I'm going to continue doing my part to give you guys that real level sauce, right? Like I said, what is my goal here? Right, my model and my team's model, the Profit Society model, is that our free content is 20,000 times better than everybody else's paid content, okay? So that's why we're coming on here. That's why we're talking about interest rates. That's why we're talking about the Bank of Japan. That's why we're talking about bond yields. That's why we're talking about yield curve inversions. That's why we're talking about all these advanced things that I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have no freaking idea about. I got y'all back. That's my job, right? That's what I'm here for, right? I'm here to provide you guys with all this next level value because our motto is that our free content is 1,000 times better than everybody else's paid content. So, that's what it is, right? So, big shout out to you, though, Mike. Appreciate you. Right, let's see. Dan, that's a crazy drop. Yeah, this thing was absolutely a very big drop, right? We're talking about if it was 500 pips for UJ, it was around 500 pip drop as well for GJ, right? So we're talking about big boy drops there for the yen. Let's see, the Bank of Japan smiling, but we not crying. Nah, and this is the thing, Warren. Did we or did we not have – we talked about this, right? Again, we talked about the fact that their currency is so weak, they're going to have to do something. But since yesterday, they didn't raise rates, right? Because yesterday, guys, the Bank of Japan actually did have their interest rate decision, and they didn't do anything, like at all, right? They actually kept the rates the same, right? This is the only central bank that is still offering negative interest rates. Negative interest rates is not attractive for the currency. Negative interest rates is not going to cause the demand for that currency to go through the roof, which is why we've been seeing the yen get destroyed, right? So this is why I'm a little confused now, right? Because if they really wanted to be aggressive, if they really wanted to actually try to pop up their currency, why not start why not start raising rates? Like, I get it, obviously when you start to go through the process of, raising rates and you're hawkish or your central bank is hawkish and things like that, yeah, that's going to absolutely continue to devalue your economy as a whole, right? We're going to see, economic weakness off of that. But do you want to experience economic weakness or do you want to experience runaway inflation? Now, again, over there in Japan, they're not dealing with inflation as drastically, as crazy as we are, right? Because they don't have as much demand for certain things like we do, which is why they haven't been as aggressive. But again, you got to really pick your battles, right? The Japanese they've been getting destroyed. So why not at least go positive for a little bit, get all that strength back, right? Get money flowing back into the Japanese yen, right? And do it that way. Instead of randomly dropping a power bomb on us, right? Like they dropped a nuke on us last night, right? They dropped a nuke on my GJ trades. I got destroyed, right? But again, it is what it is, guys, right? So again, we do have some interesting things here, guys, for the Bank of Japan. The fact that they did not raise rates, but yet overnight they decided to talk, right, and pretty much manipulate price. I'm pretty much positive, guys, that all these moves right here are going to be short-lived, right? I'm pretty positive that the Bank of Japan, as long as they're not going to, raise rates, this is going to be continuously bullish, right? So long-term perspective, guys, I still want to look for buys on GJ, right? UJ, I still want to look for some buys on UJ, right? EJ, I still want to look for some buys on EJ, right? AJ, I still want to look for some buys on AJ. I still want to look for some buys on NJ, right? I hope you guys are getting where we're at here, right? As long as the Bank of Japan is implementing the policies that they have, as long as they're the only central bank that is not raising rates, they're going to continue to get devalued, right? They're going to have to intervene a lot more than just actually starting to purchase the Japanese yen, right? Like that's literally what they're doing, right? They're starting to purchase, their own debt pretty much, right? To cause the demand for it to go higher, right? They're trying to manipulate their own prices right now, right? That's what the Bank of Japan is doing. They're trying to manipulate their prices, try to prop it back up. But if we can take notes, guys, from what happened over the past few years, right? And this is a great comparison right now, right? What the Bank of Japan is doing right now, they're trying to prop up their economy to try to, give it some type of strength, their currency. But one thing that we can understand, guys, right? Especially because of COVID and everything else, it's never a good thing to try to prop up your economy on BS, right? It's just never a good thing, right? Because eventually that bubble is going to explode, right? So, yeah, I get it. The Bank of Japan, they had to do something, but they're going to have to be a lot more aggressive than what they're doing now, right? Them just talking and them just, buying their government debt to try to prop this stuff up, that is not a long-term solution for what they're experiencing right now, right? So, again, for me, I could be wrong. I was wrong last night, right? Because, again, something random happened. We did not expect it, right? But I could be wrong. I'm human, right? But I doubt I'm going to be, right? And, again, I say this, guys, because we're looking at the data, right? You guys know me. I don't just take decisions. I don't make decisions based off of random stuff like everybody else on YouTube. I make decisions based off what the data is saying. Like, what is the hard data telling me, right? And then that's what we make decisions off, right? And that's why we've been so accurate since I started going live on YouTube with you guys 5 months ago. Is because we're not taking decisions based off nothing but the data, right? So, again, I hope this is making sense, guys, with the Bank of Japan, because this was, again, a very surprising move, historic move, right? Like, think about it, guys. The last time that the Bank of Japan actually started to intervene was back in 1998, right? We're talking about 20 years ago, okay? 20 years ago, right? 22, 23 years ago. So, yeah, this is a very historic move, guys, that they actually moved. But I think, and I could be wrong, I don't think I'm going to be, but I think all these moves are going to be short-lived, right? Until they actually start to raise rates themselves, right? Until they actually start to really tighten up, I think all these moves are going to be short-lived, right? And it could have been just to try to, capture liquidity or something crazy like that, right? But that's just my opinion, right? I could be wrong, though, right? But let's see what else we got here. They tested your gangster, right? They definitely did test my gangster, Castro, and they won, right? Because if you guys remember last night, I forgot what currency it was. Was it the actual pound? Right? But last night we were talking about some currency, right? And I was telling you guys, man, if they try to spike back down, they better not try to test my gangster, right? Because I'm taking it, right? And it might have been the pound. Yeah, I forgot exactly which one it was that I was saying that on. But they definitely tested my gangster, and they definitely caught my bluff, right? Because they smacked me around, right? They smacked me around. I lost 2%. It'd be like that, right? But they definitely tested my gangster, and they won for that one. They won the battle, but I'm still winning the war for this week, right? They could win this battle, but they not beating me for the war for the week, right? I'm still very much in profit for the week, right? So we're still doing very good. Let's see. Let me go ahead and catch up with these comments, guys, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at a bunch of other pairs that you guys want. Keep in mind, I do have my daughter running around. So let me just go ahead and just take a quick look at her. All my parents know what time it is, right? We always got to make sure that whenever the babies get quiet, there is a major thing we have to worry about, right? And when kids get too quiet, they up to something. So let me just give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Let me go ahead and just check on baby girl. All right. Like I said, right, when they're quiet, they're always into something. And she was definitely under the kitchen sink, right? But let's see what else we got here, guys. Thank you for providing this. Of course, Joel, right? Again, my objective, guys, is to really get you guys to the next level, right? Big shout out to Get Wrecked, because I got wrecked last night. But big shout out to you for being a part of the Wealthy Fam. Let's go, let's go. Make sure to send me a message immediately after this so I can get you added into the private chat. Let's go, Get Wrecked. I love the name because it's relatable right now. It's relatable. No, I'm playing, right? I love that, though. But definitely send me a message and I got you. All right, let's see. We got Jay Swizzy. All right, my sis is in the building. Good to see you, sis. I appreciate you for rocking with me. And good to see you in the chat. All right, let's see. What's the new rate for JPY? So they didn't change rate at all. It's just overall they started to purchase pretty much their debt again, right, to try to prop it up. Let's see. Fundamentals are no doubt my weakness. You were right about EURUSD. It's bearish now, but I believe it may reverse to 99.5 and reverse again, as you said last night. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that for sure. All right, I see we got Switzerland in the building. Shout out to you guys out there in Switzerland. What's up? Let's see. Abel, is it possible that the Bank of Japan understands that most economies tend to recover on their own and most major crashes are caused by government intervention, so they're riding it out for the most part? I mean, again, it's a little different, right? Because we can't compare, the economy over here in the U.S. where we have a lot of demand, guys, for imports and exports, right? Where over there in Japan, the demand for certain things isn't as aggressive as like other economies, right? Other countries. And because of that, that's why inflation for them is not as crazy as it is like, say, over here in the US, right? So because of that, they've been just trying to pretty much just, letting it handle itself, right? That's what the Bank of Japan is trying to do. They didn't want to intervene. They didn't want to do anything, right? They wanted just to, play it out and just allow, things to run its course. But they were forced to, right? They were forced to actually go ahead and jump on. They were forced to actually go ahead and react, and now we're obviously seeing the after effects of that, right? So yeah, it's crazy, right? Very crazy, guys. Now again, this is just my opinion. I keep on saying it because I want to make sure that I'm clear, right? I don't know. Like, I get it, right? The Bank of Japan did that, but I still think these stuff is gonna be short-lived, right? I don't know. I still see it personally, possibly. Gonna get short-lived, right? Or at least be short-lived. All right, so that's where we're at for that GJ and the yen pairs overall. All right, so speaking on that, though, because I know you guys are probably thinking, well, Abel, right, if it is going to be short-lived, then where can we potentially really look for this market to actually rebound? All right, well, I'm going to just take a look at GJ because it's probably one of the most, commonly traded pairs for you guys on here. And we're going to have a couple different levels, right? Obviously, this level right here, guys, is going to be obviously one of the most important ones just because it is the most obvious level of structure that we have right here. All right, and at this point, I mean, it does seem like we're probably going to end up making our way at least back down to this level. But the reason why that level is going to be important, guys, is not just lining up the structure, right? It's not just lining up structure to the left, but it's also just seeing, last time we were at this level, what the market actually did, right? We actually did see, guys, when we came down here, we seen the demand, guys, for the pound against the yen absolutely pick up, right? And it actually sent us, flying all the way back up to these highs. So you guys know how this is, right? Whenever we identify a point of interest, guys, that can be, considered an area of high demand, then yeah, when the market gets into that area, we can potentially assume, right, that there could be more buyers waiting down at that level, right? And again, this is I could be wrong, and I keep on just making sure I throw that disclaimer out there because again, you never know what the Bank of Japan is going to do moving forward, right? They already did something historic last night. You don't know what else they got planned. I don't know what else they got planned. I'm not in those meetings, right? So you got to always just be mindful, guys. Again, they did show, that they are, open to actually doing something, right? To actually, help with their currency, right? So you never know what they're going to continue to do. But for right now, I don't know. I'm still thinking this is going to be short-lived, right? So I'm going to be looking for more opportunities to buy, guys, if we're able to go ahead and see price reach into this 158, 159 level, right? So anywhere down here around this 158, 159, could be a very interesting opportunity, guys, for us to go ahead and get involved, right? So somewhere right in this range. Again, I could be wrong. I just got to keep on throwing that disclaimer out there. I'm not perfect. I'm only human. I just try to interpret what I think can happen based off the data, and then I take the trade. And if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. It is what it is, right? So that's where we're at, guys. Just give me one more second. I hear my daughter doing something. back, family. I'm back. All right, so that's where we're at with all that, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at gold really quickly. I got you, Bridget. Right, let's see what gold is up to. Let's see what gold is doing. And let's see what we can come up with, guys, for gold. For any of you guys that are actually looking at gold, right? I know some of y'all is definitely looking at gold because gold is a beast, right? But let's see what else we got here. Let me catch up with these chat. Not testing your gangster. We got the boy Devin in the building. I appreciate you, my brother. What's going on? My boy Danny as well. We got the family in the house tonight. I see. Right, shout out to that boy Danny Dogs. That boy Devin P. Absolute beast in these markets. I appreciate you boys for tuning in. Right, Daddy Daycare. You know it, Veronica. You know it, right? Let's see. Hey, they won the battle, and we are going to win the war. I'm going to print this and stick it on my station. Let's go, Mo. Right? We always got to keep that positive mindset, right? No matter what happens in the market, guys, your mindset is going to dictate usually what happens next, right? Like, if you take a win, right, but yet your mindset is to where you're super ecstatic, right, where now you feel like you're going to continuously win, it's probably going to end up leading to losses, right? But if you're also upset, you're mad because of what just happened, that's probably going to lead to also more losses, right? So, again, it's your emotions, guys. It's your emotions after a win or a loss that usually is going to dictate what you actually do moving forward. I say this all the time, right? It's not that first initial loss, guys, that causes a blown account. It's your mindset after that first initial win or loss that usually ends up to a blown account. Not the first trade. It's usually your mindset after the first trade that usually leads to it, right? So just keep that in mind for sure. All right, let's see. Love the daddy trader vibes. I got to do it, man. Listen, man, I'm a father first. I'm a trader second, right? So we got to do what we got to do. Let's see. Thanks, everybody. I got to get to work. I'm going to watch the stream after. Let's go, Truck. I appreciate you for tuning in. Can we take a look at NAS? Yeah, we'll take a look at NAS for sure as well. After gold, I got you. All right, AUDUSD investment advisor, I got you. I'll take a look at AUDUSD as well. All right, let's see what's good. Everybody definitely want to join the private chat, right? So anybody who wants to join the private chat, there are two ways to do it. You can either join my YouTube community here, right? The cheapest membership is $4.99. It's literally $5 a month, right? That's the cheapest membership. So if you join that, that gives you access into a, inner circle chat, right, with my wealthy fam. If you want a different chat that gets a little bit more value, right, because it is a little bit more of a costlier entry, right, purchase my bootcamp, right? Purchase my 5-day bootcamp series, and that gives you access to a different private community. In that private community, I actually do, weekly study halls, study sessions. We definitely go a little bit more above and beyond with that specific community, just because it is a little bit more of a pricier ticket to actually get involved, right? But the cool thing about the bootcamp series, guys, for those of you guys that don't know, I actually do host 5-day bootcamps, right, where I'm literally breaking down all the most important things of trading. I'm giving you guys the real value, the real sauce, right? And I promise you this bootcamp is something that you've never experienced in your life. Guaranteed. I don't care what mentor you had in the past. I guarantee you never experienced nothing like this, right? But what I'm doing now, guys, for anybody that has actually purchased the bootcamp or that has been a part of the bootcamps live, guess what? Moving forward now, any live bootcamp that I host, you guys are all going to get access to it, right? So if you purchase one of my bootcamps, you're technically going to purchase access to every single one of my bootcamps. So I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying that is next level. The next live bootcamp that I plan on hosting is going to be probably in November or December. All right, so you can get, this bootcamp series that I'm doing now, and that is your ticket to actually enter any of my bootcamps moving forward. Come on, little girl. Let me work, girl. Let me work. You gonna let me work? No? Gotta let me work. Oh, look at that face. Look at the sad face. No, you guys can't see it, right? But yeah. Let's see. Not the sync yet, right? Where do you send Abel a message? Come on, they can hear you, girl. Relax. Right, so yeah, send me a message on Instagram. Let's see, man, you've been the best part since I joined Master Academy when I left all your info, help, and video. I appreciate that, Mogul. Right, big shout out to everybody that probably is noticing me from IM, all right, because I was an educator for IM, literally for about 4 years, right, really going all in, providing value over there. So I know I constantly see a lot of you guys come in and show massive love, right? So big shout out to all y'all that was a part of IM, that learned from me over there, and we're taking it over here, though. Shh. Come here. You just want to be on camera, don't you? All right, so don't talk because I'm trying to work here, okay? You going to let me work? All right, so this is what happens when you, stay-at-home dad and mom wants to continuously go out and do some errands, right? Because we're actually going on vacation this weekend, right? But overall, yeah, that's where we're at. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Let's see. Coaches, the first batch will get access to Future. Let's go, yeah. So a lot of y'all that got the boot camp already, you guys are going to have access to every single one. Let's see. Get that little girl a chart, right? I need to just throw her on here, right, and actually get her ass trading. All right, but let's take a look at these guys and see what's going on. right? So gold is very interesting, right? One thing we know about gold is that gold itself, guys, has been very bearish ever since we started going through that hiking cycle, right? Ever since the Fed, decided to actually start raising rates, gold has actually reacted in a negative manner because of that, right? So what we can assume from this, guys, is that gold is going to continue to devalue as long as we are continuously raising rates. Okay, the Federal Reserve, guys, has literally made it known that they're going to continue raising rates literally going into 2023, right? Like the projections right now, guys, for 2023 is that we're still going to be raising rates. So as long as we're doing that, then we could potentially continue to expect weakness here, guys, for the gold market as a whole. So what I would like to look for gold now is, are we able to go ahead and potentially rebound to then give us an opportunity to go short? That's like my favorite play that I would look for, that I would like to see. But obviously we are in this range right now where the market could very well just go ahead and sell off from here. I'm going to be honest, guys, if the market does end up selling right from these levels that we're at right now in this range, I mean, it is possible because we just tested a major area of, supply, and we got a very strong reaction out of that supply zone. So it is possible, right? It is possible for this thing to actually go ahead and shift. The only way I would want to get involved, though, is if we are back up at that supply zone, right? I would need to get back close to the top of the supply zone for me to look for that short entry. Right here, I'm not comfortable looking for no plays off of here. We're in the middle of this range right now. The market could bounce back up. It could go lower. We really don't know, right? So I'm looking for the highest probability setup. So I am bearish. I just want to get back at least up into that supply zone, right, to look for continuations. Now, what happens, though, if the market says, nope, Abel, we don't want that level, right? We're going to continue going higher. Well, that's fine, right? Because this is also something I'm very aware of, and this is something I want you guys to be aware of, right? When we're talking about our overall trading range, right, what is it? This swing high. Baby girl, you got to stop touching the mic, mommy, because you're going to mess up the mic. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Right? So when we're looking at, gold, and we're looking at trading range, we're talking about the swing high to the swing low. You want to go watch TV? Go. Yeah, go watch Monsters, Inc. Go watch Monsters, Inc. You look like a damn monster. Go watch Monsters, Inc. It's probably your brother in there. Right? So, yeah. So when we're looking at this supply or, this trading range, guys, right, we do have to keep in mind as well, right, is that there is a chance for this market to also give us some of a deeper correction. You want to do this right now? What do you want? You want food? I gave you snacks already. Can I get 1 minute? Can I get 1 minute, please? Do I get 1 minute? All right. All right. So, yeah, there is a potential, though, guys, for gold. You do not want me to work right now, huh? I get it. I get it, right? I get it, but I got to work, babe. We got bills to pay, man. Like, what's up with you? Like, you still want a place to live? Like, come on. Oh. So let me say this really quickly, family. Then I'm going to go ahead and give her some cereal real quick, and then I'll jump right back on, right? But like I said, there is a potential for a pullback before we actually end up continuing going lower. Look at it. This girl is like literally trying to drag me out of this chair, right? Give me 1 second, family. I apologize, right? I know for a lot of y'all that probably knew her like, yo, this dude is crazy. No, I'm a father. I'm a father first, everything else second, right? Give me 1 second. Let me get her some cereal. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. All right, we're back. We're good to go. We're good to go, right? We're good to go. I apologize, family. But you guys know how it is, man. Her mom decided to, for some reason, the past 2 days, just randomly freaking go shopping super early. I don't know what it is, right? But overall, like I said, it is what it is. All right, but like I was trying to mention, though, before I was getting rudely interrupted by the little gremlin in my house, There is a chance though, guys, right? Like there realistically is, right? Because if we're looking at this range right here, right, we're talking about this entire move is a big swing range, swing high to swing low, right? So if we really compare that and we're trying to ask ourselves, all right, where are we in terms of premium and discounted price points, right? For gold, we're still in discounted price points if we're considering this entire range to be the actual range that we're playing right now. It is very possible, right? So we're still in discounted price points. So trying to sell in a discount is always a little bit risky, right? It's always a little bit risky. And the reason for that is because since we are in discounted price points, this is an opportunity, guys, where a lot of profit taking could actually go ahead and start taking place, right? Where people that actually, sold from up here, right, are now starting to take profit down here. Right. And whenever we are in that type of situation, we have to be aware of it. Right. Because if everybody that sold from up here is now starting to take profit down here, that is going to cause the gold to absolutely start to rebound. Okay. And that's why I talk about premium versus discounted pricing a lot, because it is important to understand where we're at in terms of our ranges. Right. When we're able to identify where we're at, it can give us an insight on whether we should want to take that trade or not. So, yeah, I get it. Gold could actually go ahead and start falling off from here. It is very possible. We have been in this range, guys, for literally the past few days now. So it is possible for this to continue. We are bearish. But I don't know. It's either I take it from the supply zone. That's the only way I'll feel comfortable looking for that short. Or if the market does run up higher, then we'll go ahead and look for some shorts maybe around this 1714, 1715 level. Around those areas from right there, right? But that's just my opinion on gold. It is setting up nicely, though. I still am very much bearish, guys. Again, we have historical data telling us, that as long as the Fed is hawkish, as long as they plan on raising rates, then gold is going to continue to lose value. And that's pretty much what we've been playing. And, I mean, that's not changing at all, right? It's still the same thing. Let's see. Let's see. She's adorable. I appreciate that. I messaged you on IG to get into the private chat. I'll definitely check my IG as soon as we get off of this for sure. I got you guys. Let's see, bro. You're all about helping others with a heart like that. No wonder you keep getting and will continue to bless. I appreciate that, book. I really do. How much is the boot camp, right? So the actual boot camp itself, guys, is $325, right? So you can also go to ProTraderBootcamp.com, ProTraderBootcamp.com. If you want to become a pro trader, go to ProTraderBootcamp.com, and you can also go ahead and purchase, the boot camp right from there, right? Now, if you do not need the entire boot camp, right, and you just want a specific topic, then you can also purchase an individual video, guys, for $75, right? So if you want help on emotions, which in my opinion is the best video that we have here, is there, right? If you want help on risk management, how to do it like a professional, it's there. If you want fundamental and sentimental sauce, it's there, right? Technical sauce is there, right? But overall, get yourself that boot camp. Gives you access to every other boot camp moving forward, and I promise you it's going to take your trading to another level. I guarantee it will. Right? Like, I'm so positive, guys, and so confident in the stuff that I'm teaching you guys, that even though nobody else will give you guys like a low-key, a money-back guarantee about the thing, right? But I'm that confident, right? I'm that confident. If you just really feel like you ain't getting no value from the content, like none, let me know. I'll definitely send you your money back, right? I don't want nobody that's disappointed. I don't want nobody that feels like they didn't get, their money's worth a part of my community, right? So, just let me know. Like I said, I'm a real person, guys. I also really take into consideration that a lot of you guys, are, spending money with different platforms, different mentorships, and so obviously, I always started taking consideration for that too. Right? I was in the first boot camp. The first boot camp was lit. Yeah, the first boot camp was absolutely next level. When we pay for the boot camp, do we get the chance to rewatch the other videos? Yeah, you actually do. Right? So anybody that buys the boot camp literally until Saturday, right? Whoever purchased the boot camp until Saturday, you actually get the first recording of the boot camps, right? So you're technically getting 2 recordings of different boot camp sessions that I hosted, right? So we're talking about 20 hours of content that you're going to get by simply purchasing this boot camp right now, right? Because they're actually doing a promo where I'm giving out a ton of bonuses to anybody that does actually purchase the boot camp, right? So, but enough of the boot camp talk, family. I know you guys are not here for that, right? I know this is not commercial talk. So let's go ahead and see what we got here now. So again, that's just my opinion, guys, for the dollar or for gold itself. So we'll see what happens with that overall, right? But let's go ahead and see what else we got here in the chats. And catch up. I'm inspired to become an educator like you, provide value, and everyone feel welcome, right? I appreciate that, Filthy. It's definitely going to happen. As long as that's your, if that's your goal, and as long as you're speaking your goal, the moment that you spoke your goal, you already started the process of actually obtaining that goal. Okay? Remember that. The moment that you spoke exactly what you want to do, what you're aspiring to do, you have now started that goal, right? You have started the process of attaining that goal. Now it's just up to you to actually be consistent enough to get it. All right, see, great father. Remember, Abel, baby girl, run things 100%. I totally, trust me, I know. Let's see. We understand my daughter the same way? I appreciate y'all, man. I know you guys understand, especially all the, all my parents on the call. I know you guys know what time it is, right? I appreciate y'all for that. Let's see. My daughter don't want me to work and be great either. I love it. No worry, totally understand. Mine one also in my lap right now, working with Abel Uncle. I appreciate that. Let's see. This real stuff take time, bro. Right now, giving both my kids a bath, getting ready for school. I see we got a lot of parents on the call, man. I appreciate y'all for sure. All right, that's what I love, right? I love being relatable to you guys, right? And just really, being real. I would be, I'll be doing you guys a disservice if I wasn't, treating this like real life. I got kids. I got a young one. I got 3 kids, right? I got 2 that's already in school, thank God. And then I got this little booger, right, who definitely is makes it a lot harder to actually go ahead and work, right? But, it's a part of the process, right? Let's see. I didn't know of you until you did the podcast with the guys from Chart Addicts. And ever since then, you helped me out. Let's go, right? Shout out to Chart Addicts, by the way, right? The boy Roy actually just texted me, right? And let's see. I think he's actually live right now as well, right? Shout out to that boy Roy. Shout out to the Chart Addicts team. Right, if you guys are not following the Chart Addicts team family, definitely go ahead and type in Chart Addicts on YouTube. Phenomenal community, phenomenal educators over there. Really know what they're talking about, right? So big shout out to them for sure. Can you look at Ethereum? Yeah, let's go take a look at ETH real quick, right? And see what we got here for Ethereum, guys, right? So Ethereum itself looks very, very interesting. But, just like I feel with a lot of these different things, guys, very simple. Again, I know a lot of you guys are going to keep on asking, yo, what about this? What about that? Well, I'm going to make it simple, right? I am what we consider risk-off sentiment, right? I am what we call risk-off sentiment. This is exactly, guys, what my bias is, right? When I'm trying to figure out what my sentiment is for the market, right, I'm always trying to identify whether we are currently risk-off or we are risk-on. And this is some next-level sauce, by the way, so make sure you guys are taking notes on this right here. If you take notes on this part right here, guys, it can easily transform your trading. In fact, I'm actually going to bring up a graphic that was a part of the boot camps that I was only going to keep for the boot camps, and I hope my boot camp students don't mind, right, me actually bringing this up, because it is going to change the game for every single one of you guys that are listening right now, especially if you guys have not learned about sentiment just yet, right? So let me go ahead and see if I can find where this actual graphic is, right? But when we're talking about risk-off sentiment, guys, it's telling us pretty much what we can expect certain assets, certain currencies to actually do, okay? When we are in an environment, guys, of, or when we are in a risk-off environment, that is telling us that the dollar is in demand. Okay, when we are in risk-off territory, that is telling me that the dollar is in demand. But it is also telling me that riskier assets, right, are going to lose value, right? So take a look at this screen right here. Take a screenshot. This is massive right here, by the way, right? Again, understand this and just watch what it does for you. Like, I promise you, watch what it does for you, right? And we're going to break this down, guys, in a second. Let me just go ahead and catch up with the comments as you guys take these screenshots so we can make sure everybody's questions, comments, or concerns are being answered. Let's see. I confided with you, too. First boot camp was lit. Let's go. Brother, how long you been trading Forex, right? So I've been trading for 7 years now, right? Since 2015 is when I started. All right, so I've been trading 7 years. My first 2-3 years was very rough. I did not win anything, like literally nothing at all. Any withdrawals that I made within that first 2-3 year period was just me taking money back out, right? My deposit that I had just put in, right? So I didn't see no results my first 2-3 years, guys, but I did eventually get mentorship. I found help. I finally practiced risk management. I finally got discipline, so I was eventually able to really get this thing down packed, right? And I've been trading full time now for the past 4 years, right? So I didn't really see no results my first 2 years. My 3rd year, I really started to tighten up. By my 4th year, I was already, pretty much doing this thing full time. Pretty crazy, right? But yeah. All right, so again, guys, right, this right here is next level, right? Because this right here, guys, is really going to tell us, based off the current sentiment, whether we are risk on or risk off, what currencies are going to do against each other, okay? So right now, we are in a risk off environment. The reason why we are in a risk off environment, guys, is very simply put because of all the chaos, uncertainty that's going on in the world. Right, inflation going through the roof, that's going to add fear to the markets. Okay, economic weakness, which is what we've been experiencing, that's going to add a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt into the markets as well. Right, so right now, guys, we have a bunch of different factors that is causing these markets to have a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in them. Again, I just mentioned a few, right? Inflation, hawkish Fed, right? Interest rates going up, right? Economic weakness, right? We have wars going on, right? Russia and Ukraine. We have a potential war with China and Taiwan, right? We have supply chain issues that are still experiencing to this day. All right, so we have a lot of different situations, guys, right now, a combination of a bunch of different factors that is absolutely causing us to be risk off, right? Where it's time for investors to go ahead and remove the risk, take the risk off the table, right? This environment is not a healthy environment for us to be investing into stocks. This environment is not a healthy environment for us to invest into cryptos, right? For us to invest into commodities, right? Because those things are classified as riskier assets. And during a risk-off environment, those assets usually start to lose demand, which will cause them to drop. So again, we are very much risk-off. As long as we are expecting the Fed to be hawkish, continue to raise rates, we're going to continue to remain risk-off. Right, and let's go ahead and take a look at these guys. So when we are in a risk-off environment, equity markets, right, which equities is like a broad term for, like, you know, the stock market, the indice market, a lot of these riskier markets as a whole. Even crypto could possibly fall under equities now, technically, right? But risk-off environment, guys, equities goes down. Safe haven currencies go up. High beta currencies go down. Commodities go down. Government bonds go up. Now, family, during this type of risk-off environment, the safe havens benefit. The safe havens win. But last night and yesterday, actually, both sessions that I hosted yesterday, right, both sessions, we also spoke about what currencies or what assets are actually be treating as safe havens. So, family, in the chat, right, what is actually being treated as a safe haven right now? Like, what currencies or assets are actually being utilized as a safe haven currency right now? Who knows? Who knows? Go ahead and answer this in the chat, guys. Salute to all the parents, 100%. The last child is the real work. Yeah, for real. It really is, right? And I'm going to be honest with y'all, right? Like, right now, this is my last child, but I need a football field, right? Obviously, my wife is going to think completely different, but I want a football field of kids. I need a whole football team. Right? So, when we're talking about safe haven currencies, I would consider only two things to be safe haven plays right now. Right, and I'm not just saying I consider it just because I'm making this stuff up. I'm using it because I'm literally looking at the markets and how the market's been reacting. Right, so the two things, guys, you guys are all on point. You guys must have been on my calls last night or yesterday, right? Because you guys are right. The two things, guys, that are now being treated as real safe havens is going to be the U.S. dollar and government bonds. Right, those are the real safe havens. Right, in the past, you used to be able to include gold. You used to be able to include the Japanese yen. You used to be able to include the Swiss franc. But if we really look at these markets, right, they have not been acting like that. Gold, ever since we started raising rates, been dropping, right? Obviously, the yen has been getting absolutely destroyed. The Swiss franc has been somewhat even, right? The Swiss franc has been, pretty choppy, pretty sideways, though, for the most part, right? So it really hasn't really done too much. But overall, again, it's still nothing, right? The dollar and bonds are the absolute safe havens. You want to know why? I mean, look at this. Going through the roof. Going through the roof. Safe haven, right? This is how a safe haven acts, during periods of economic weakness, during a hawkish Fed. This is what a safe haven looks like when it's just straight going up, right? You want to know what else? Government bonds, right? Let's take a look at the 2-year bond. Again, 2-year bond is also showing, right, that there's a lot of fear in the markets right now. If you guys want to know if there's fear or if there's optimism in the markets, right, if there's fear or if there's faith, look at government bonds, right? Whenever government bonds are flying like this is showing us that there's a lot more fear in the markets, right, which is why a lot of investors are running towards government bonds to go ahead and protect themselves, to try to hedge against inflation and try to hedge against this economic weakness. Right, so yeah, these are showing safe. These are real. Look how strong this is. That's safe haven. Right, all the other ones are not. Right, so when we're talking about again this picture again, right, we have to understand how to play this. Right, so we're still very much risk off. So we want to continue to buy the dollar. We want to continue selling, beta currencies like the euro, the Aussie, the New Zealand, the pound. Sell those. Right, sell the indices, sell cryptos, so on and so forth. Right, so I hope that's making sense, guys. And again, I do try to talk about this stuff pretty much on every single stream, and I get it. It might seem repetitive to all my OGs, the one that's been on here for a while since I started this. But again, it is very important, guys, for you guys to get this. So I like to repeat this stuff because I want to repeat it enough that it's stuck in your subconscious mind, right? Because the moment that you can get information into your subconscious mind, more times than not, it's going to be in there forever, right? So my job is to, pound this information into your head so much that it actually reaches your subconscious mind, and then it's in there forever, right? And then you're good to go, and then you'll be able to really operate correctly. All right, Swiss is still a safe haven. Yeah, I mean, the Swiss is, again, it's one of those where it could be, right, because it really just been going sideways, right? At the very least, guys, the only positive thing for the Swiss franc is that it has been somewhat maintaining levels from a bigger perspective, right? I really do, right? I think it's been I mean, it's not me. Like, look at this, right? It's been very choppy, very sideways. I mean, we have been ranging between a pretty big range, right? But it really has been at least still somewhat consolidated. Right, it's not like, USD JPY where this thing is just straight bullish, right? So the Swiss could be considered that as well, right? And obviously the Swiss franc as well, guys, is also now starting to tighten up policies, right? So the Swiss could actually start to become a safe haven, right? And start to act like the safe haven, especially if they do continue to raise rates. The Swiss franc, guys, they actually just raised rates a couple of weeks ago, right? Taking them from negative territory into positive territory, right? So they are showing signs of them wanting to act like a safe haven, right? Like a safe investment. So you never know. Swiss franc could start to activate, for sure. All right, but let's go ahead and see what else we got here, guys. Take a look at the indices. So overall, I am still very much bearish these. I still want to see NAS, guys, come up to this level. If we can see NAS 100, guys, come up to this, 11,900 area, I'm going to be shorting the hell out of it, right? So overall, I'm still very much bearish these indices as well. And we're just going to continue riding that out, guys, until further notice for sure. All right, so let's see what else we got here. So fear in the market is good for government bonds, right? It's starting to make sense. Yeah, right, 100%. Because you got to think about it, right? Government bonds, what do? They offer you, a coupon, right? That coupon is giving you a guaranteed return on your investment, all right? But the only thing about that is the guarantee is very, very small, right? Like you're only going to be getting, at least for right now, it's 4%, right? So if you deposit, $100,000 into a government bond, by the time your coupon matures, right, and that 2 years is up, you'll get 4% on that 100,000, right? So what is 4% of 100,000? What is that? What, $40, right? So again, it's not too attractive, right? So you're not going to government bonds trying to make a lot of money. That's not what it is, right? You're going to government bonds to try to hedge against economic weakness, right? You go to government bonds to try to protect your investment, to try to protect your capital. That's why you go to them. Right, so yeah, during a lot of fear and uncertainty, that's just a great way to hedge against, economic weakness, hedge against a lot of inflation, right? It's a hedge against a lot of these things that are going to cause stock markets to drop, right? Crypto markets to drop, right? So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at for that for sure. Right, so overall though, guys, again, this market is very interesting, very, very interesting market. It's very exciting to see what the market has been doing. Overall, last night, guys, I did give you guys this play here on EURUSD. I was looking for the potential short from right here to see if we can continue. We did have a potential for this thing to go higher, but the market did end up turning around from right here, and it could continue for sure. I'm still overall very bearish to the EURUSD as well, guys. All right, I'm still very much bearish this, but yeah, we'll see what happens overall. Like I said, there is a chance. There is a chance, right? There is a good chance for price to make its way up here before selling off. Right, that's probably what I was leaning toward more yesterday that I was talking to you guys about, just to go ahead and clear a lot of this imbalance. But there is also a chance for price to just really go ahead and start shifting from those levels right there. Right, but besides that, family, again, I do appreciate y'all. I do got to go ahead and be a father right now, all right, because I don't want to be on this call and wifey come home and my daughter's under the kitchen sink or my daughter's in the toilet or something, right? So I got to go and definitely take care of some fatherly duties. I do appreciate you guys so much. I will be back live again tonight, so I want you guys to get used to this face and get used to the value, because it's coming nonstop all 2022, all 2023, guys. So make sure to be on tonight's call as well, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live for our regular Asian sessions, and we will continue to get better overall, guys. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for rocking with me today, and I will see you guys all later on tonight for our Asian session. Let's get it, family. Have a good one. Love y'all.